So if you really thought I was gonna come on here and talk about doing the do, you're nasty and you need Jesus. Okay, the video I'm doing today is the my first time tag video. So I have some questions that I'm gonna answer, and they're gonna be based on my first time, which is pretty straightforward. So if you thought I was gonna come out here and talk about giving up the front, you're nasty. Okay? All right. So the first question is, what was your first tweet? So I went on Twitter, or this Twitter time capsule app thing or whatever, and it says my first tweet. This is some deep shit, guys. If I could take my own advice now, I would take it and run with it. So my first tweet was, I wrote down on a sticky note. It says, sometimes what's best for you isn't best for somebody else. If I knew that now, with all the stuff I've been through, I would have been so grateful. But I'm gonna move on to the next question. The next question is, what's your first YouTube video? So my first YouTube video was like when I was in second year. My friend Siobhan and I, we have a channel, which I'll put the link in the description box below, and subscribe. And I'll put like the video somewhere here so you guys can see what it is. The first person you subscribe to on YouTube. The first person I subscribed to on YouTube was, I want to say it was Ivy Powell. I was looking up like a high bun tutorial because I used to wear buns in high school and middle school a lot. And I was looking up a high bun tutorial and I came across her and I subscribed. And I've been a faithful subscriber ever since, guys. My first Facebook profile pic. Sure, my first Facebook profile isn't up because, you know, when like you think you're hot and you start to meet people, I think I went through and deleted majority of the pictures here I have on Facebook. But I would say the picture that I have that would be my first Facebook profile picture would be this. I was in kindergarten and I thought I was hot shit again. So that's what I have as my first Facebook profile picture. Do you still talk to your first love? If I were to be realistic, like, my first love is the guy that I'm dating right now because we're in a good space and it's like the happiest I've ever been. I don't even want to answer that question, okay? What was your first alcoholic drink? My first alcoholic drink was probably Heineken, which is beer. And I love Heineken. Like, has to be Heineken and Corona. Those are like my two favorite beers. My first job was working at Wildwater Kingdom. For those who didn't know, I was a lifeguard for like 4 years at Wildwater Kingdom. Would I do that job again? No, I freaking hated that place. It was a good experience. My stepdad's home. It was a good experience, you know, but I would never work there again. Who was the first person you text today? The first person I text today was my boyfriend. I text him every morning. What was your first car? Well, my first car is the only car that I have, which is my Honda Civic. That is my baby. I call her Keisha. It's a crimson pearl Honda Civic. And I love it, guys. I love it. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? Obviously it has to be Jesus. Every morning I wake up, I say my prayer, I thank him for waking me up in the morning and getting my day started and all of that good stuff. So it'd have to be the Heavenly Father above. Who was your first teacher? My first teacher was Mrs. Kwan. I love Mrs. Kwan. I have her on Facebook, actually. Yeah, she's my first teacher. Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? I went to Jamaica. I was 5 or 6 years old, and I went to Jamaica with my grandma and my aunt, and I loved it. I came back and I swore I was Jamaican. I was talking patois for like a good 2-3 months. Imagine like a Canadian wannabe Jamaican. That was me for like 3 months. My parents are probably tired of me. Who was your first best friend and do you still talk? My first best friend is Taisha Walters, aka Fam. Yes, me and her do talk. She moved to Maryland when we were in grade 11. We've been friends since the womb. We started school together, and yeah, that's my best friend. Where was your first sleepover? My first sleepover was at Taisha's house, and I would cry to go home every time. Like, my mom would leave me. I would say, yes, I want to sleep over at Uncle Junior and Auntie Bev's house. And by 12 midnight, my mom was rolling up at the apartment and picking me up because I wouldn't stay. What was the first thing you do in the morning? I say my prayer. That's the first thing I do in the morning. And then I check my phone. Yeah. What was the first concert you ever went to? The first concert I ever went to, I was in kindergarten actually, and the Walmart had just moved from Meadowvale Town Center to Winston Churchill and Argentia, and Little Bow Wow opened up for Walmart, guys. And at that time, if you do not know, Little Bow Wow was like hot shit, or Shad Moss, whatever his name is, whatever he goes by right now. He was like hot shit back in the day. Okay. Just know I enjoyed myself at that concert. My first broken bone. I've never broken a bone. My first piercing would have to be my ears. I pierced my ears before I left for university. First foreign country have you gone to? I've already spoke about that. First movie you remember seeing? That I remember seeing would have to be The Lion King. That's like the first thing that's coming to my head right now. The Lion King. What was your first detention? I call this kid in my class fat because he said he'll tell on me if I didn't give him my nerds. I'm not gonna mention any names right now. Who was your first roommate? Next question. What is the first thing you do when you get home? The first thing I do when I get home is take my bra off. Like, if you're a girl, you know, like, keeping your bra on for the entire day is mad uncomfortable. So that's the first thing I do when I get home. When was your first kiss? Why are these questions so intrusive? Who did you first watch on YouTube? Okay, on YouTube wasn't like really popping back then. The first person I probably watched on YouTube was when Trevor started making videos. Yeah, because everybody in my class or like my friends, we would watch them on YouTube like on our break, during like study hall or whatever. And then it was Ivy Powell. Then after Ivy Powell, it was probably the Daily Davidsons for me. And I think that's about it. Those are like the top 3 YouTubers that I started watching when YouTube was popping, like back in the day. Obviously YouTube was around. There's weave on my eye. I was gonna go blind. It's still there, guys. It's still there. Obviously YouTube was around, but it all depended on what you were interested in, and that's what I was interested in. A lot of comedy videos, a lot of hair tutorials and stuff like that. But I think that's it for my first time video. Again, if you thought I was gonna come on here and talk about that word that you're not supposed to be doing, you need Jesus. Okay? Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.